Hey, Markie here. Just doing a very opportunistic video. I've had a client not turn up for a Skype appointment. Um, which is a tricky thing for people when they're living through this. The people that book and then don't turn up, because people don't realise, obviously as a cost really. So you kind of imagined, in your day job, um, somebody, a boss came along and said, well, we just decided we're not going to pay you for the next hour. But he's going to take that away from you. People would be up in arms, really. That people think that therapists, make this huge kind of profit. I think, but not the case, sadly. But anyway, there we go. That's by the by. Just grabbing a few moments, and I need to go and grab the time to do something else as well, actually. But I thought I'd do a quick part 3. I think there's going to be many parts to this video. So welcome back to those of you who've been following this one. We've been talking about what to expect, expectations, demystifying the Kiwi culture for Brits. Okay. So one of the things I said in the last episode, which I want to return to with a little kind of caveat, is I was talking about how good it is in Aotearoa, which is the proper Maori name for New Zealand, that almost anywhere will take card payments. And they call it, I'm not sure what it is, FCOS or FPOS or something like that. I don't know what it stands for, but that's what they call it. And there's a slight complication in that when you put your card in the machine, if it doesn't do PayWave, lots of people do PayWave, or well, that's what they call it here. What do they used to call it back in the UK? They didn't call it PayWave. They call it hands-free. No, what did they call it? Somebody tell me in the because I haven't been away that long and I'm forgetting things. So one of the things that you have to do if you use a card, whether it be a credit card or a debit card, let's use the thumb on the side of the screen. Really is an opportunistic one, this one. So spur of the moment and spontaneous. So if you use a card on the machine, you have to, before you put your PIN in, you have to declare what sort of card it is. So there's 3 options. There's check, savings, and credit card. And it's kind of a bit weird because I've actually got a UK debit card that I use, and that counts as a credit card. It wouldn't work unless I put credit in. So you have to press one of these 3 buttons first, and then you put in your PIN. So just something to be aware of when you come to New Zealand. People use different, just changing the subject, going off into other matters now. Different words. Okay, so it's going to be a short video. Really. I'll just share a few different the ways people use different words. So if you talk about a vest in the UK, what you're talking about is maybe the odd kind of Monty Python Gumby string vest, or a kind of like a sleeveless T-shirt, usually white or black, that you wear underneath a shirt for guys. Obviously, women have vests as well. Though camisole is a nicer word, isn't it? The vest for a woman is never. It's not a romantic term. So a vest here is a waistcoat, and for them, what we would call a vest, they call a singlet. Likewise, used with pants for trousers, like the Americans do. That's another one. So if you talk about being in pants and vest. I threatened to turn up at work in pants and vest when it was hot. That's actually quite smart. They could think, oh great, you're dressing up. So that's one to be aware of. I've got a summer cold because partly because the weather has varied so much. You get real variations in the weather here, in the temperature. So forgive the cough. What other words are different? They put S's on the end of lots of things that we wouldn't. So instead of talking about gear, as in, stuff like clothes, or, have you got your gear, as in, have you got your, I don't know, like musical equipment, like a band has gear, doesn't it? Like kind of, I don't know why I'm thinking of that analogy particularly, but I'm thinking, amplifiers and microphone stands, cables and stuff would be gear. They call that gears. A takeaway is takeaways. If somebody receives care, as in physical care because they're disabled or injured or whatever it might be. So somebody has a carer and the carer provides certain tasks for them. Those tasks might be referred to as a number of cares. These are the cares that are provided. So if somebody needs to be helped out of bed, that would be a care. And if they need to be helped to the toilet, that would be a care. So somebody might need a number of cares. So that's another one. The confusing one is the word woman and the word women are the same. So people talk about woman when they're talking about when they mean women. So they say this is an issue for women. We have a lot of involvement down here with a local women's centre, which is a women's centre as it should be, which is a great place, great project. But they call it the Women's Centre. We always joke about, well, who is this woman who has a centre all to herself? Vowels, people here obviously Kiwis have to Brits. Kiwis have what we would call IVS, irritating vowel syndrome, in that they just seem to randomly swap one vowel for another. So they talk about sex when they mean sex, and various things like that. And I remember a Kiwi was trying to help me because I'm trying to learn the Maori language, Te Reo Maori, which is what's called the Maori language. And somebody said, "Oh yeah, the first thing you need to learn is the vowels, and A is pronounced like this and E is pronounced like that." And I said, "Whoa, stop! I can't understand the Pakeha Kiwi vowels. So what I need is an Englishman to teach me how to pronounce the Kiwi vowels." So we gave up on that one and learned that in a different way. So sorry, I'm just sticking my sticky paws in front of the camera again. What else? Any other quickies that we can tell you about? Heating. Let's do heating. We'll probably finish on heating. So it's a hotter country. On average, it's 5 degrees hotter. Whatever it's doing in the UK, on average, it's across the course of the year, balanced out. It's 5 degrees warmer each day, but it can get very cold. You can get frosts and stuff like that. And nobody insulates their houses or heats them properly. And that goes the same for cafes, restaurants, bars, workplaces. They're all freezing in the winter, and nobody seems to kind of notice this. People bizarrely, they moan about how cold it is outside. It's really cold, and I said, well, that's not really cold. You don't know cold. But actually, sometimes it's even colder inside than it is outside, and they don't appear to notice. There's a form of heating that's popular here, which they call a heat pump. And heat pump really is like a kind of a little kind of air conditioning unit. And if you get a good one, they're good because they can obviously make it cool in the summer. But often you have this tiny little heat pump that kind of does very little, and everybody gets very cold. So if you come here, I threw away all my woolly jumpers before I came here, and regret it now because it can be really, really cold. So plenty more we can tell you about, both serious and frivolous, really, but all true. About the land of the long white cloud, which is what Aotearoa literally means. But I'll leave it there for now. This will be part 3 of that series, and we will be back with more. Okay, so a rangi Marie. Goodbye.